Amplitube 3 is a great bass plugin as well. It's largely due to their DSM technology. DSM stands for Dynamic Saturation Modeling. It's the technology that allows this Amplitube plugin to successfully reproduce the analog circuitry of this Fender amp. Now let's talk about the routing for this bass sound that I'm about to play for you. Now don't worry, I'm going to go into greater detail when I play back the bass sound. But just so that you know, we have an Ampeg compressor with output and sensitivity knobs. We have this Fender amplifier, lots of knobs to tweak, a cabinet with a condenser mic, and we have two rack effects. We have the tube compressor and the graphic EQ. The graphic EQ will be useful so that our bass sound will not mix improperly with the drum sound that I will add later on in the tutorial. Alright, let's go to this stomp sound first, and I'm going to press play, and I've soloed the bass track so we can focus on the bass. Check it out. So this output knob's pretty obvious. It's the output for the compressor. And the sensitivity is the knob that determines how much compression and how sensitive the compressor is to the attacks that I'm sending to it. Check this out. Pretty squashed, right? I like it here. It's a little more dynamic. Can also bypass this. Alright, let's move on. Let's take a look at this Fender amp. Currently have it set to deep. I'm going to turn that off. So that deep, lower squashed frequency has kind of left us here. And now it's back. I can turn the volume up, play around with the bass frequencies to maybe make it a little bit deeper sounding. I can turn the mids down and the treble. If I wish to have a bright bass sound, press this button here. Very subtle difference. Also have an overdrive stage here. Turn that on. Check that out. Cool. And I can have a blend between the overdrive and the vintage sound. Here's our vintage sound, and here's our overdrive sound. I love it. If we press this on button here, we're turning on Fender's Very G EQ. We can boost or duck a frequency by selecting the frequency we wish to duck with the frequency knob and then adjusting it with the level knob. Check this out. Again, see how the sound gets saturated at certain points depending on the frequency that I choose. I'm gonna take some of that out. Let's get rid of the tube overdrive. Here we have this room flat knob. If we turn the knob to deep, it basically gives a deeper character to the room. And if we turn it to bright, it brightens things up. Very obvious stuff. We have a master volume, and we can mute as well. That just gives us our direct signal. We'll play around with the cabinet and the microphone a little bit. And if you want to learn more about cabinets, go to the tutorial on cabinets and microphones. Let's move on to this rack over here. We have our compressor, and it's being driven at 13.16 dBs. If I turn the attack down, it's going to squash the attacks of my bass notes. See how there's less attack? Less transients? There we go. And the release, of course, it's just the release of this compressor, and then the ratio. Check this out. Now we're really, really squashed. But I'm not really enjoying that sound, to be quite honest with you. So let's turn the drive down. the ratio down and turn the level out more. And finally we have this graphic EQ. And this is going to be useful once I unsolo everything and we mix in things with the drums. Check this out. I'm going to boost some frequencies over here around 100 Hertz. There we go. That's that warmth that I want in my bass. And since there's not much going on below there, I'm just going to eliminate them. I can even do the same over here. You know, some of these mid frequencies. I'll make the bass sound a little deeper. There we go. Let's go back to our amplifier. And let's turn up a little more gain, but less bass. Turn this off. And let's go back to this stomp effect here. Play with the sensitivity. You can also add more than one cabinet, and that can change the sound as well. I encourage you to play around with this and see how much you like it. It's pretty cool.